Ante up, jack that food. Ante up, jack that food. What's happening? What's up? Got that thing fired up. Hope all is well. Welcome in, welcome in. We getting started. We going live and direct all over social media. Welcome in. We're streaming live from Facebook, YouTube, two Facebook accounts, which Facebook be on. I be on the naughty list. YouTube, welcome in. Instagram, I see you. Twitter, Twitch, two Instagram accounts, and YouTube and TikTok. But welcome in, everybody. I'm gonna let some people come in, and then we'll go ahead and get started for whatever questions y'all got. If y'all new here, my name is Mr. Richard. My goal is to be the number one content creator of finances in the world. And you see, when I say that, it's not a joke. I'm not playing. I'm not laughing. I want to be, I would say the Black Dave Ramsey. I just want to be the guy. The Tony Robbins of our age, the Dave Ramsey of our age, the Robert Kiyosaki of that our age, the Mr. Wonderful of our age. You know, I think we lack a figure that is not old that can talk about money on any level. You know, when you really think about it, when you think about any other social media platform, there's a niche for all of them. We all have somebody we like. If you think about like Mr. Beast, you think about the uh, you know, KIS, you think about the Jake Pauls, right? We don't have that to me for social media when it comes to finances. It's just no, there's not a guy that you think about to me when you think of social media influencer finances. There's no guy. White, black, Puerto Rican, Haitian, Asian, whatever. I can't, in my personal opinion, I can't think of one, right? You might have some guys that are dominant. They might be doing their thing, but they're just not known for finances, right? On all levels. And that's what's crazy about this game. You can get a lot of people that'll do like niche stuff, but you don't get people that will do overall objectives that are good, right? You might can talk to Dave Ramsey, and Dave Ramsey's kind of out of touch. He's out of date. He's old, and he doesn't talk about stuff that's relevant to younger demographic. Or you might get, I know, some other guys, but they're talking about, you know, buying, real estate. Or you might meet another guy, they might talk about businesses. You might meet another guy who are talking about, you know, investing. Or it might be another guy that talks about crypto, right? But there's not one person that can talk about it all. And then what they're doing is they're talking to a specific audience on a specific platform. It's really not streaming. It's just a video. You know how like think about it. Think about like Kai Sinai. Think about Speed. They go live and they interact with their chat. Who's the guy or the girl who goes live and interacts with their chat on live social media, right? They might make some videos and stuff like that. Someone said Dave Ramsey teaches consumers how to be more responsible. Yeah, being more responsible doesn't make you rich. Being responsible means that you have a paid off house at 65 years old and a couple $100,000 in a 401k. And you might not have a lot of bills because your house is paid off now. You might got a little investment saves up, but I mean, you got to sell your house to get access to your capital. So if you don't sell your house, then how do you get access to the money in your house? For money to be withdrawn from your house, you have to have a equity event. You need to refinance, you need to take a HELOC, or you need to sell. or a reverse mortgage. Just because you have a $200,000 house that you paid for 30 years ago that's worth $600,000, you might have $600,000 in equity, but you don't make no money off that. You can't live off a paid off house. And Dave Ramsey is teaching people to pay off a house. And now you have a $600,000 house, but now you got to sell the shit to them, enjoy the money. So what do? You sell it and then you move, I guess, to Florida now. And I don't know about y'all, but house prices here way fucking expensive. So what you gonna do? Buy a house in Florida now? So now you got 600,000. Wow, you buy a house in Florida. Now you just reset your bills. Now your house payment is probably gonna be more. Your house payment on $200,000 over 20, 30 years ago is gonna be the same price as your house payment in Florida today. So are you really saving money? You make $600,000, but now you have a $3,500 house payment, which is $3,500 a year. If you live 10 years, that's $350,000. That's half of the money you saved up from the damn home sale. Move to Thailand? Yeah, Dave doesn't teach you that. That's the point. I can name 5 countries off the top of my head where you can move to and where your dollar gets you more bang for the buck instead of living in America if you wanted to talk about moving to another country. Does Dave Ramsey talk about that? No, he talk about saving up and paying off your house and living off $200,000 in a 401k. That's the difference, my friend. That is the difference. That's what separates me from Dave Ramsey. He talks about being conservative. I talk about getting money and being cheap and being conservative and making more money. So you don't have to fucking move. You know, think about it like this. You have a paid off house. At 65 years old, you got a paid off house that's worth $600,000 and $300,000 in a 401k. Or when you was 30 years old, you bought a piece of property every year for the next 30 years. When you retire at 65, now you got 30 properties that's bringing you in $500 a month. $500 a month is $15,000 a month, which is an extra $165,000 a year. Now, do you want a paid off house and $300,000 in a 401k? Or do you want to make an extra $165,000 off real estate that you don't got to work for? I'll wait. I already know the answer. And Dave Ramsey's techniques, you can't do that because he doesn't like that. Even though he bought all his properties in the 1980s for $40,000, $50,000, you're not buying houses like that no more. You can't do it. You can do it in some areas. You just got to know where to look. But does he teach you where to look? No, he doesn't. He owns 400 or 500 properties, but he couldn't tell you the best places or the best cities to invest in real estate. So you got 500 properties and you can't even tell me where the best cities to invest my money in? I thought you was the GOAT, Dave. No, he's the GOAT of selling books. That's what he's the GOAT of. Someone said Puerto Rico. Okay, cool. Let's do this. Where do y'all think you get the biggest bang for your buck living? Let's do that since we're on the subject. Where can you go? Let's say if you saved up a certain amount of money. Let's say you made in interest from an account you got $2,000 a month. And the account paid you $2,000 a month every year for the rest of your life, or every month for the rest of your life. What would be the best places to live? Somebody said Puerto Rico. Someone else said Thailand. Someone said Mexico. Someone said, I see you on YouTube. Oh, sorry, TikTok. Someone says Thailand. Someone says Ghana. Utah. Shit, you better live on the damn reserves. Someone says Indonesia, Thailand. Someone says DR. I'm gonna see if I can look some of this stuff up. There is a list that I read in a book. I'm trying to see if I can find it because I want to give y'all the best information when it comes to it. I remember it off the top of my head. So it's a book called The 4 Hour Work Week. If anybody's ever read it before, give me like a dollar emoji or something in the chat. But in the 4 Hour Work Week, it was a guy who learned to live off 4 hours a week. And what he did is he moved around the world and tried to find the best place to live. So, anyways, moral of the story is someone said Vietnam, someone said Cambodia, El Salvador, Philippines, Brazil, DR, Panama, Thailand, Philippines, Mexico. God dang, y'all on it. Haiti, Thailand. So I want you to think about this too. There's a balance between wanting to live somewhere that's very inexpensive and your quality of life. You know, I'll say something like El Salvador. El Salvador is probably really, really inexpensive to live. Now, is El Salvador a place you want to live though? You know, some places like Nicaragua or something like that, it's going to be very inexpensive to live, right? But if I'm walking down the street and I see like drug cartels and stuff everywhere, or some guerrilla militant group driving down the street with like jeeps and guns everywhere, that ain't where you want to be. You know, damn near anything that ends with a stand, I ain't trying to go. Afghanistan, Pakistan, or anywhere that they fight over Holy Land, I am good, right? I don't want to be nowhere near those places. And then some parts of Mexico or South America, you want to stay away from too. You know, but there's, if I had to name them off the top of my head, I can't find the list. But there is a list. If you ever read a book called The 4 Hour Work Week, he breaks down a different book. He breaks down a different list of places that you can live. So from his personal experience, and I know this from experience too, because I've been all over the world, and I've traveled in a lot of different places, and some places are way cheaper than others. Singapore, very, very, very inexpensive to live there. Very inexpensive, right? You can easily live $2,000 over there. Singapore, Thailand, some parts of India, but not all. That's if you want to live in India. A lot of the Pacific Islands, kind of get like the Thailands, you can do it. Vietnam, but Vietnam is kind of run down, and there's not a lot of like wealth there. So I don't know if you want to live there. A lot of places in Europe, some parts of Germany, some parts of Italy, some parts of Greece. I know for sure if you're an American, if you understand these words that come out of my mouth, you're more likely American. If you go to like, I think it was some parts of France, they will give you a house and give you a stipend of $2,000 a month just to live there, because there's not enough people to keep up the infrastructure of the community. I don't even know if y'all even know that. If anybody ever heard that before, put like a dollar emoji or something in the chat. If there are countries in Europe where there's not enough, I want to say Iceland too, or Ireland. There's a lot of places. Yeah, Italy. Yeah, there's places in Italy that'll sell you a house for $1 because they want you to take over the infrastructure of their homes, because, you know, once you live in a home, then they can charge you taxes, and no one's living there, so the land makes them no money. It's just the empty houses. A lot of people are leaving those areas because they want to live in like the city. So, you know, America is cool and all, but until you start looking at some of these other places that's out here, you got to really start thinking about the bigger picture of your livelihood. You know, if you can live in a villa somewhere that's, 6,000 square feet, and you have 20 acres of land, you got your own cattle, you got your own livestock, you got your own vegetation. You might be 20, 30 minutes from the city or something. But I mean, is that the life you want? I think a lot of people just need to really sit back and think about the things that they want in their lives and then trying to kind of go from there. And a lot of people don't think of it like that. A lot of people think, someone said it's time to go. A lot of people don't think about it like that. A lot of people don't think that someone said, okay, so here we go. Someone said Australia, Denmark, Zurich. Zurich is a little expensive. Canada, each coast of Canada are way expensive, but the innards ain't not that bad. But it is, the weather is kind of, I mean, I'm not trying to live nowhere where it's freezing cold 6 months out of the year, man. If I wanted to do that, I go to if I wanted to live in Canada, I would just go to Maine, because Maine is relatively inexpensive. Vermont is relatively inexpensive, and you're still in America, and you get the benefits of the nature up there, if that's what you want to do. The Netherlands, they love black people there. So if you're a minority, they love you. They almost look at you like a celebrity. Like, they're just like, in Germany too. If you ever get a chance to go to Germany, they almost look at you like they've never seen. They love your accent too. And I'm like, what accent? I just talk regular. No. You talk you just have an accent. I'm like, all right, whatever, man. But you never know until you start going up there. But yeah, I'm kind of on a. If you decide to live in a country, where would you live for the next 5 years? Yeah, let's do that. If you could live Serbia, I don't know. Serbia that's like close to Russia or something. I'm good, man. Screw that Russia stuff. Let's do that. If I had a magic wand and you can live in any country outside of the United States for 5 years, where would you want to go? Right? I want you to start thinking outside the box. Reason I say that is because I just don't want you to. I just don't want you to think that this is the know all be all. There's a lot of free countries out there. There's a lot of countries out there that treat their people better than America. You go to Europe, you don't pay for health care. Right? It's all universal. It's all prepaid. You pay your little $2 copay, and then you get whatever medicine you want. Pharmaceuticals is not ridiculously expensive. Someone said, I bet Ukraine is fairly cheap nowadays. Shit, I bet it is. I'm good. Costa Rica would be nice. I don't want to live on an island for so long, though. I've been there, done that. That shit gets boring. Right? But if you can live anywhere in the world, Australia, Denmark, Canada, Germany, Singapore, Thailand, there's tons of places to go and visit. There's a ton of places that would treat you better and treat their citizens better than America. Right? We're not the know all be all. And we actually don't even lead the world in a lot of things. Actually, I think, you know what America leads in statistically? The top 3 things. We only lead in 3 things. Let's see if anybody knows this. America is the greatest in 3 things. Someone says crime, gun violence. You're on the right track. Racism, yeah. Someone said military spending. Someone said alcohol, drugstores, opportunity. Hell no, it ain't no damn opportunity. Oh, man. Incarceration. Y'all on the right track. I'm a U.S. vet as well. Appreciate you, sir. What was your FSC? What was your job? I did 22 years in that hellhole, and I'll never go back. Entertainment, no, it's Uh, War Incarnation, 12B. Oh, you was Army. Boo, stealing. No, number. I want to say okay. It's incarcerations. Okay, America leads in a combat engineer. National debt. Oh no, there's way worse other countries than we do, man. It's well, it used to be. I think we're up there now. It's number of citizens are incarcerated, military spending, three alpha, would you and three delta? Would you cross train or multi AFAC? It's incarceration, military spending, and the number of people who believe in fairies. I can't make that shit up. America has more people that believe in fairies than any other country in the world. Hey man, whatever. So when people like Trump say "Make America Great Again," at what? Believing in fairies, or military spending, or people in jail? I don't. Now I don't hate. I don't. I try not to talk politics because I don't believe in none of that shit. Because I believe I learned about. I learned about. I learned a few years back that the whole politician game is a joke. Because when you start making a decent amount of money, you start interacting with these upper echelon of people, the celebrities. You start interacting with the politicians. You start interacting with governors, mayors, senators, heads of state, secretary of state, uh, joint chiefs, and all kind of stuff, and even the vice president and presidents. You start interacting with these type of people, and you realize that it's all a show. It's so it's a big joke. It is a big joke. But hey, whatever. What the hell do I know? It is a joke. But I think I was talking about that earlier too to somebody. I said that how like you know like once you start, I don't know, man. I give you the greatest example. It's politicians is like WWF or wrestling. I'm gonna go old school because I'm just an old school guy. Like Hulk Hogan comes out and he gets the microphone. He says, "Hey, Ultimate Warrior or Stone Cold Steve Austin, I hate your guts. I'm gonna kick your ass when I see you. You are an idiot. You're the dumbest person I've ever met. I wish you'd talk trash to me." And then Stone Cold Steve Austin music comes. You hear the glass breaking, and here comes Stone Cold riding his like little scooter down to the ramp, right? And then Hulk Hogan runs out the ring, and then he grabs the mic and he says, "Yo, you're an idiot. You're dumb too. I hate your guts. I'll kick your ass." And then like Hulk Hogan gets in the ring and they stand off and square off. And then here comes The Rock. Rock got to jump in and give his little 2 cents, and then they're fighting, right? Then they all go at it, right? It's a three-way match, and the bell goes off. The first one that gets pinned or something like that wins. And they just fighting for an hour, and then you're entertained, and then one person gets pinned, and then there's the fucking show, right? And then hey, the Hulk Hogan won, or the Rock won, or the Stone Cold won. And then after the show, they go backstage and they say, "Oh man, that was a good pin, man. I got I actually lost a little consciousness at like 10 minutes in, but I stayed in there." I said, "Yo, man, I noticed you was slipping. It's all good. How your family doing? They doing good. How your wife doing? Okay, cool. I'll probably see y'all later on. I come over there this weekend. All right, that's fine." And then I actually went to an event when I met a lot of wrestlers and I was backstage because my best friend was his dad was a wrestler. And I went backstage and these guys are talking to each other like they're regular people. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? You said last week that you hated his guts. And y'all over here talking about going to dinner together? This is bullshit. I was mad as hell. But it's the same thing when it comes to politicians. They hate each other on that stage. But as soon as they get backstage, they're damn near BFFs. Let's go get a beer. Right? And then this is what's so crazy about it. Politicians or wrestlers, whenever they retire, they'll sit there and talk to each other about how, like, they'll go back and talk about the olden days, like the Rock is like the Undertaker's retired, and all these other bigger wrestlers are retired, and they'll sit and talk to each other on like a forum or something. Hulk Hogan's retired, and Ultimate Warrior's retired, and they'll sit there and talk to each other like they're BFFs, and they'll talk about, oh yeah, I remember I came out there and you was talking about pin me, and I was like, nah, man, I can't pin you yet. We ain't been on here too long, and they'll be talking about how, like, it's just fake. The only difference is they talk about it. Politicians don't. That's the only difference, right? But I don't like talking about politics because I started losing people in the group. But just know it's all a joke. All of it's a joke. You can be, all of that shit is bought, and right. And then I just said this earlier. Let's like, I read this book a while back. I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. I read this book a while back. It was called, I think it was A Rise and Fall of the Western Civilization. And it explained how, like, politics back then during the Roman Empire age would, a lot of the things that they do then are incorporated or indoctrinated in today's modern society. And one thing that Julius Caesar used to say is that when the crowd would get unruly, or whenever things was stress for the people, or if you had to raise taxes, or there was an event to happen where people would want to protest or get unruly, he would do one of two things. He would host a major event at a coliseum, or he would invite a major circus into town. Because when people are distracted, then they're not focusing on the main agenda. When people are distracted, they're not focused on the main agenda. So let's think about it. We are in the middle of an election year, or we're going to get a politician, somebody's going to get voted. But when you stroll on social media, what do you see every damn other page? Every other swipe? Mother Truck and P. Diddy. P. Diddy is every other post. Throw a circus, a host a Coliseum event, and they forget what the real agenda is. Y'all are all just falling victim to beliefs that was indoctrinated from 2,000, 3,000 years ago. That's all it is. You think social media gives a damn about you? No, they just show you stuff to distract you. It's just part of the game, people. Once you understand the game, then you can understand that it is a game. George Carlin said it best. It's a small group. It's a small club, and you ain't invited. And then this is what's crazy, right? I'll talk about this real quick, and then I'm done with the politics. There was a politician. There was 3 politicians that I believed in years ago. One of them, I donated about $7,000 to their campaign. Another politician, I donated a little over 5 figures. And there was another campaign guy that I donated high 5 figures, close to 6 figures. Okay? I'm gonna put y'all on some game. I donated 7 grand, 5 figures, and 6 figures to 3 major politicians. When I did that on all 3 levels, right? One of them was a local guy, one was like a state guy, and another one was one of the big guys or girls, right? I'm not gonna say anything names because I don't want y'all to think I'm affiliated with any particular party. Let's just say one was a local guy, one was a big guy, one was a big state guy. You know, whatever a state is, who runs for state, who runs for the big nation ones. Nation guy, a state guy, and a local guy. I donated money to all three, right? Their affiliation almost had nothing to do with it. So I can almost tell you that it, you know, they're Republican or Democrat, it's irrelevant, right? I just believed in the person. I met them before, and I just, you know, wanted to support. When I donated money, them mother cluckers called me or texted me. Their group called or text me comically every 2 days. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Richard? I see you are a VIP donator to this cause. Is there anything that you need help with? No, I'm good. Just showing support. Oh, okay, cool. Let me know if you need anything. 2 days later. Oh yeah, and it'd be a different person every time. I don't know if I was just in that queue or something. I don't fucking know. Is there anything you need? I guess they was trying to get more. Sometimes they was asking for more money, but I was like, yo, get out of my face. But, you know, on all three levels, state, local, the big guy. And then the big guy, I said, you know what? You know what I want? I want the big guy to give me a call. Well, sir, I don't know if we can do that. Okay, well, you asking me what I want. I want the big guy to give me a call. So somebody who's running for the highest office in the nation, I want him or her to give me a call. Well, I'll see what I can do. Okay, cool. Stop calling me or texting me until you do. They called and I kept saying, I want to talk to the big guy. I'll see what I can do. Anything else? Nope. I want to talk to the big guy. 2 weeks later, yeah, you got an appointment at this time. You can't talk for more than 3 minutes. Stay off these subjects. Cool. I got a call. They put me on hold for 3 minutes. No music, no nothing. Him or her got on the phone, thanked me for my contribution. They asked me, do I need anything? Or is there anything that I can do to anything that I needed? I said, no, I believe in you and I just want to support you. We talked about some other dumb stuff too, but about 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. We got off the phone. Now, I contributed, we'll say $100 grand to a politician. And I got a call from the guy for $100 grand. Say if you gave 10. What if I gave him $100 million? That's why that's just a joke. You can buy a phone call from somebody. And y'all think y'all little votes or y'all arguing about this shit on damn social media is really affecting people? No. You give up that money, you can make some moves. You give up that money, you can make some moves. But you got to make the money to give up the money. If you're not giving up the money, then you ain't making no moves. What's all good in the hood? I see you. Okay, cool. So enough about that crap. Let's get to talking about some real stuff, right? Real money. Let's get to talking about you and your growth. But I'm gonna give y'all quick chances to hop on other social media platforms because that's how this supports me, right? I don't make a lot from this. I make enough to pay my electricity bill. I'm here. Someone said, I'm here so your YouTube gets paid. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So if you're watching from Instagram, you're watching from, let's see where y'all at. Let's see who's checking in. Checking in. YouTube people in here. I got a couple Twitch people, a couple Facebookers, a couple Twitters or X. If you're watching, I got some people from Instagram. Sorry, TikTok too. If you're watching, click the link in the bio. Watch or go to or search The Rich Get Richard on YouTube. Watch from there. it really helps out me, right? I'm not like a thank you type person. Well, I try to be. I'm kind of a people's person. So I appreciate when people are here, right? But I don't really say thank you a lot, but it really helps me out a lot, right? Well enough because I know if I get that platform pushing more, the more people I have there, the more it pushes me and my objective to become the guy or the girl who streams all day long. Yeah, I could almost, if that was the case, I could almost just sit here and do this all day if it paid me enough. Like if I would get some Kai Sanai money, I'll sell every piece of real estate and business I got and just sit on this damn thing all day. But I don't think I would be there. But that's the objective. Everybody should have a goal in life. Okay, what's happening? I see you. Yes, with multiple E's, I see you. Supporting black businessmen, just support, period. Right? I try not to look at it from a like minority or a female or male perspective. Right? I don't care. I support whoever needs to support and who's ever trying to affect or change the outcome of the modern day thinker. I think that's what's the main objective. Oh my gosh, you're live. I've been trying to reach you for so long about your extended warranty. Man, I thought you were about to say something fun. Say something for real. And also, too, somebody said join the free class. Yeah, I got a free class coming up this Wednesday, 9 p.m. EST. Links in the bio. Takes 10 seconds to sign up. Go there, sign up, man. Come to the free class. But someone say podcast. I need to do a podcast. One thing about me is that I can fill voids of time fairly easy. I don't need to be fed. I don't need to be guided. I just talk. Sometimes I might come off a little randomly rambling. Sometimes I feel like I'm rambling, but I try not to. But I appreciate you for being here. But I see what you're saying. What's up? Can me and my wife move to Mexico with $2,000? This is what you do. Like I said, there's a book called The 4 Hour Work Week, and in the 4 Hour Work Week, an individual said he had a certain amount of money, and he wanted to move out of the country, and he wanted to live off his interest. So this is what I would do. If you had $20,000, this is what I would do. One, if I had 20 grand and I wanted to live out the country, I would own a business, real estate, and or get a job that I can work remotely. Okay, you ready? You thinking? You hear me out? So the job that I work remotely, it doesn't have to pay a lot. It's just a job that I can do for a couple hours a day, 3 hours a day to make me enough to live there. Now you got to think about it. Your cost of living in one of these countries, Thailand, Singapore, Bali, Mexico, any of these places like that, your cost of living is going to be cheaper. So you don't have to have a job that pays you that much. You might can even do something like customer service that's remote. You don't have to be like some IT specialist or like I'm a coder or all this other kind of crap. You could just have a general you can have a general entry level remote job. As long as you have good Wi-Fi, you can good Wi-Fi, good internet, and good cell phone service. You can work one of those jobs. And then let's think about it. Let's say if your cost of living in America is, I don't know, 70 grand or some shit. Let's say if you move to Mexico or something like that, you move into like one of these places in Mexico, now your cost of living is reduced to 25,000, but this entry level remote job is paying you 30,000. So now you're making $15,000 more in access to live probably near the water or even on the water in some of these countries. And then also, the 20 grand you have, you probably can put it down on a house there, right? Probably in a lot of these countries, their cost of living, that they do a lot of owner finances because don't really have like traditional banks and stuff like that. So you probably can put a lot of money down on, you put probably some of that money down to buy a house. Then also you got to take consideration too is that there are a lot of jobs in those countries that cater towards Americans. Like think about it like this: if you wanted to teach, let's say if you got a part-time job tutoring kids how to teach English in Mexico. Let's say a kid charges you $20 a session. $20 for an hour session. You teach 3 kids a day, that's $60. You teach 5 days a week. That's 60 times 5, that's $300 a week. 300 times 4, that's $1,200 a week, a month. That's $15,000 a month on top of $15,000 a year, plus the call center job you got that pays you 30. So now you're making $45,000 a year. And let's say your spouse, you said you was married, let's say if she's got a little job down, like a local restaurant or something like that, and they might not pay a lot. Let's say she's making $10,000 a month or $10,000 a year. Now you're making $55,000 a year, but your cost of living is only 20 grand, remember? So now you're making 3 times more than what the cost of living is. So if the cost of living in America is $60,000, but you're making 3 times as much, that's the equivalent of making $180,000 in America. I think most people could live comfortably or not really comfortable off $180,000 a year in America. So if you're making $180,000 in America, it's the equivalent of $60,000 in Thailand, Singapore, some parts of Mexico, Bali, some parts of Germany, some parts of Italy, some parts of Switzerland, some parts of the Netherlands, and all those other kind of countries. So think about it like that. And I honestly, and I'm not trying to tell you what to do your research before you go, but you can almost just, if I was super serious about it, I'll just pick a date and I'm out. Fuck this place. Save up some money, get enough to live off of for like 6 months, find the best place to live, the best cost of living, and bounce. And just go for it, right? If it don't work out, just come back to America. Who gives a fuck, right? I mean, lost and found. You found the job you got. If you lose it, you get another one, right? Let's say if I fired everybody on this app right now, right? What do? Sit and pout, complain, bitch? No, you find another job. Lost and found. You lost that job, you find another one. It's the same thing. You go to Mexico or Thailand or Bali or any of these other countries you want to live in. Find a job there. People work all over America, all over the world. Okay. You could also join the military for 4 years. You get 100% disabled, which makes $337,000 for the rest of your life. Yeah, yeah. Do 4 years in the military, but you won't be guaranteed 4 years and disabled. You won't be guaranteed 100% disabled, but Don't at me, $1,000,000 baby. It's type hard how a day to find an official remote job. I don't know about that. I mean, there's a lot of people that need jobs. I mean, there's a lot of people that need filling. Nobody wants to work. If you really wanted to work, you can find jobs. But people don't want to do the work. And when they do work remotely, they're like half-assed and they don't want to put in the time. Right? Or just buy a whole bunch of real estate, save up your money, and start buying smaller properties. Well, think about it. Let's say if your cost of living is $2,000 a month. let's say a rental property. I mean, let's think about this. You bought a rental property, the profit, let's say your mortgage is $1,000, but you rent it out for $1,500. That's $500 profit a month. Okay. If your expenses to live in Mexico, wherever you want to live, is $2,100, well, let me buy 5 properties. And those 5 properties will pay you enough to live in that country. And then you take the money, that's money you got, and then you still try to do the remote stuff, or you get a local job there, and then you get, teaching jobs and stuff there too. So you can do that too. How can I attain money to buy real estate? Well, welcome in. That's one of my specialties. All right. You got a few ways you can raise money or get capital for a down payment on anything. I'm gonna go to the traditional route, which no one likes to talk about. You can raise money from friends and family, right? But if you like most people, your friends are probably just as broke as you, right? Your family probably ain't got no money either. Or if you don't have money, your friends and family ain't got no money, you can find investors to invest in, which there's multiple places that you can find investors, right? Am I going to get into it now? Not really, but yeah, you can find multiple investors, all right? And I'll even put you on this game. You have what's called an accredited investor or a non-accredited investor. A credited investor is somebody who has $1 million net worth, who makes over $250,000 a year. A non-accredited investor is anybody who doesn't make anything over $250,000 and has a net worth of less than $1 million. So when you are talking to an individual and you're trying to get them to invest with you, if they're non-accredited, you can't ask them for money. But if they are accredited, you can ask them for money. But the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, has a really gray area on what a friend is. So if you interact with an individual and before you talk about money, you establish rapport and you establish a friendship prior to you asking them for money, then you can ask a non-accredited investor for money. Okay, so for example, I don't know y'all name. I'll pick a random person here. Hey, Mr. John, how are you doing? I'm doing great. How are you? I'm doing great. Can I get on a phone call with you? I just want to, see how your day going and seeing what's new in your world. Okay, cool. Hey, Mr. John, how you doing? You doing good? Yeah, I'm doing great. Okay, cool. Where you from? I'm from Africa. Shit, me too. What part? Djibouti, right? Yeah, Djibouti's beautiful this time of year. Blah, 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 blah. La di da di da. Do you golf? Yeah, I golf too. We should hang out and golf. How's your family? Where they from? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. I just want to establish a little rapport with you, see how you doing. I don't really want anything. If you need anything from me, let me know. Cool. Click. Hey, Mr. John. We had a great conversation, man. We talked for like an hour about random stuff, and I thought it was really interesting. Just thought it was pretty cool, and just saying hey, and I enjoyed talking to you. Click submit. Now we're friends. Hey, Mr. John, what's happening? What do you do for a living, just out of curiosity? Oh, cool. Well, I'm a real estate investor. I invest money, and I'm actually have a fund that I'm trying to raise capital for. If you're ever interested in it, just let me know, and I can give you some ins and outs about it. You've already established rapport. They're already your friend. Now you can ask them for money. So there's the difference between an accredited investor and a non-accredited investor. And that's how you establish rapport with somebody to make them your friend so you can ask them for money. And now I don't need to know if they're accredited or not. I don't really give a shit. I don't need to know their net worth. They want to give me $100, $1,000, $50,000, $1 million. We're friends. So their net worth and their social status is irrelevant, or their financial status is irrelevant. That's one way on how to raise money, right? Now, if you want me to sit here and talk all day about raising money, I can, but that's why you learn from people like me on how to raise capital. And if you want me to raise capital from the banks or the private institutions, we can do that too. There's multiple ways you can raise money for real estate, but you need to learn. And who's teaching? Ding, Mr. Richard, of course. You want to learn more? Click the link in the bio, join the free class. Say word, word. Someone said friends and family. Yeah, they broke. But what's crazy is I taught you how to take a non-accredited investor or just somebody you want to get money from to invest in and made them your friend. But that's part of networking. That's part of going out to people and networking and interacting with different people. See, just like somebody in the chat asking for money. Do you know it's illegal to ask non-accredited investors for money? Great talking point. If you are not a accredited investor, it is illegal to ask for money. That's why you don't see people on just TV saying, hey, give me money here, donate to this, give me money. Or you get a random text message or a random email, give me money, I need money. Because the SEC, Security Exchange Commission, do not allow soliciting of money from a non-accredited person. So in theory, somebody is on my live saying, hey, could you give me money to support my family? That, my friend, is illegal. And if the SEC was regulating these conversations that I'm having, which anytime a young black successful person is probably doing something more than just selling fucking music and dancing on TV, I'm sure they're listening to me because I'm giving y'all game. If that individual, knew better, they wouldn't be going on random lives and asking for money. And besides, most people are not going to just stop what they're doing and give somebody randomly money. First of all. Second of all, you already, and then I'm gonna put you on some game. And a lot of people don't want to hear this, but I'm gonna put you on, even though you probably just came in here, left your message and left. I have a weird saying, and it's gonna sound insensitive, but it is the truth. I never have pity for people who bring stuff upon themselves. If you have a problem, you should be able to figure out how to get out of it. You made the bed, now you lay in it. Now, I'll tell you like this. If that individual who asked for money and me swap roles, 3 years' time, like I would give them everything in my bank. I would give them everything in all my income. I would give them all my businesses. I would give them all my real estate. I would give them all my investments. I would give them all the houses, all my lifestyle, all of it. 3 years. They'll be right back to where they are. And I'll be right back here. It's actually proven in a book. They actually did a study at Cornell, proved that in about a 5.5-year period, if all the money was split up and divided up amongst everybody and dispersed equally amongst everybody, 5.5 years, everybody will be right back to where they are. Because people who do the same shit that they're doing now, they're going to continue to do. And the people that are doing better, bigger stuff are going to continue to do bigger and better stuff. You took all my money away and gave me $100 and a pickup truck and a cell phone. I'm gonna continue to buy real estate. I'm gonna continue to buy businesses. I'm gonna continue to invest in the stock market. I'm gonna continue to be conservative. I'm gonna continue to not spend all my money on bullshit. And I'm gonna continue to do the same shit I'm doing today. And the person who asks for money or the person who looks for handouts are going to continue to look for handouts. They're going to continue to look for ways out of stuff. They're going to continue to ask people for money instead of trying to go work for it or get their own bag. And they're going to continue to do the same shit that got them in that predicament. And over time, they will fall behind. Consumptions, probably gambling, gluttonous, and all the same shit that they've been doing is going to get them to say right back to where they were. I don't make the statistics, people. I just know them. I don't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. You think about it like this. Every time you get your income tax money, if you get income tax money, and you say, yo, when I get my income tax money this year, I'm going to do better. This is the year. I'm finally going to make it. And as soon as you get that income tax money, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks later, it's gone. To paying bills, take a vacation, pay off some debt, get caught up on a car payment, get some new tires, the same old shit. And then, man, where'd that money go? And then next year, I'm going to do this again, right? That's 10 years from now. You do the same shit every year for the last 10 years, and you're not getting anywhere. Why? Why? Because you're doing it wrong. No one's taught you that that's not how shit gets done. Money that you can afford to take to zero, you need to invest, not pay off bills and take fucking vacations. Or get your kids Gucci and Louis and Fendi and Prada or the latest basketball shoes or the latest you know what's crazy is I know motherfuckers are broke, but every year for Christmas they got every fucking PlayStation toy game, everything under that Christmas tree. When I see these kids in school, they got the latest Jordans, they got the latest Supreme book bags. The kid be having the freshest haircut. I was in Walmart the other day. I seen a fucking 6-year-old kid with a pair of Jordans on. I seen a 6-month-old kid with a pair of Jordans on. The mother clucker can't even walk. What the hell you got on Jordans for? Jordans. They will literally grow out them shoes in the next 6 months. And then I looked up how much baby Jordans cost. They're like $40. You got the cleanest kid on the block. And then I'll see that kid, they have a polo outfit on. I'll put that at $40, $40. I'll see 30-year-old, 6-month-old kid with a pair of Jordans. That's another $40. They have a little bracelet on. I get that a couple $100. They got a little necklace on that say their little nickname. Man, Bug, June, little rail, little pump, little dump, little whatever that bullshit say. They got $400 damn necklace on. This kid walking around with $600 worth of shit on. Ain't even said mama yet. But that kid clean though. That kid is super clean. But then the mom don't know where the next paycheck gonna come from. Who priorities are wrong? And then when that kid gets older, all they're going to associate value with is items. Gucci polo, Hellcats, necklaces, grills. I was on social media the other day and the dude was like, yo man, 2 more payments and I can finally get my grill off layaway. You're saving up to put gold in your mouth. If that ain't the most ignorant shit I've ever seen in my life. But I guess I'm the bad guy. Call me the bad guy. Oh my goodness. How about 2 more payments So you can. I got 2 more down payments so I can buy this house. How about 2 more payments and I'll have 6 figures in my investment account? But the bad part about it is it had like 30 likes. I don't know what's worse, the motherfucker who put it or the motherfuckers who was liking it. It's crazy. It's nasty out here. It's it's crazy work out here. It's nasty. But people don't want to hear it. People don't want to hear it. People want to live their lives, feel like they can do everything they, try to live to impress other people, and feel like that's what success is. Looking like you got money. Looking like you got money is why the majority of African Americans will never have anything in life. The bad part about it is, this is what's crazy. And I'm gonna put you on like a mindset about myself. I try not to talk about myself a lot, but I have to dress presentably, or I have to present myself on a decent level just for people to even listen to me. Because heaven forbid, I put on just a regular T-shirt and a backwards hat and have like a scruffy beard. No one will even listen to me. But yet, a lot of people can do that shit. Other cultures, they can do that shit. No one even gives a damn. There's a guy that I know on social media who has millions of followers, and he wears sweatshirts everywhere he goes. Sweatshirts and backwards hat, white dude, millions. And he's been doing social media less than about a year and a half, millions of followers. Sweatshirt, backwards hat. Because people listen to his message regardless of what he says. Black people will not even acknowledge you until you present yourself in a decent manner before you even listen to them. So I got to dress up just for you to even listen to what I'm even saying. And then when I do say stuff, people criticize me the whole fucking time. I don't want to wait 30 years to be rich. I want to be rich tomorrow. Have fun at work. I don't have time for ignorance. Someone said, "Who's still buying grills?" Oh, buddy. Shit. Them shits are huge. You must let me see. Yeah, your profile picture look white. Yeah, you're a white guy. Black people love that shit. Grills, necklaces, jewelry, Jordans. Gucci is a little played out now, but Louis, any of that shit, man. There's a lot of designers that I've never even heard of, but people be wearing that shit and be spending $300, $400 on a pair of jeans that just has a whole bunch of rips in it. And I'm just like, yo, bro. Right? I guess maybe when you're in high school, when you're just young and dumb, but anything beyond, I'll even kind of give you college too, somewhat. 23 or after college, that shit's over. We're done with the damn designers, unless you got it. If you ain't got the money, we're done with it. And even when you got it, it's even pushing it. Even if you got it, it's still even pushing it. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But I hate feel like I'm rambling. What questions y'all got, man? Let's talk it up. I feel like I'm just beating down people. I don't like to beat down people. I'm here to encourage, motivate, and inspire, and guide y'all upon y'all journeys. But every once in a while, you gotta let people know y'all are messing up. You are messing up. For the individual who was asking for money, listen to this if you're still in here, which I doubt. I want you to get off here. I want you to go get a good night's sleep. Okay? Because because tomorrow will be the first day for the rest of your life that you're going to get to work. You get you a pad and paper just like this, and you carry that shit with you all day long. And I want you to write ways you can make money in this book. And I don't want you to do any of them for a week. This is your planning week. Things that you can do. This goes for everybody too. Things that you can do to make extra money. Right? And coming onto people's lives and ask for money ain't the answer. Right here. So I'll even give you some answers. You can walk people dogs. You can babysit people dogs. There's an app called rover.com. I know a person whose full-time job is to take care of people's dogs. They go over to their house, they watch their dog while they're out of town. They get paid $300, $400, $500, $700 a week just watching people's dog. You come into a live and ask for money, but you can go babysit somebody's dog and make a couple $100 a week. You can do free cycling. Go to Facebook, find free stuff, take it off people's hands, clean it up, sell it to someone else, plus a delivery fee. You can go mow somebody's grass. You can go babysit someone's dog. Babysit someone's real kids. You can do hair. You can be a tutor. What are you good at? What could you teach somebody? You speak a second language? You good at math? You good at English? Tutor somebody's kid. $20 a day for an hour, twice a week. That's $40 extra, which is $160 a month. To do what? Talk to a kid for an hour? Actually, that metric is even unattainable. If the kid either excels or doesn't excel, you can't even check your metric. There's no check. You just do the best you can. You know, do you want to have a yard sale? I'm sure you got a whole bunch of shit in your house that you probably don't need no more. Hell, they can produce $300 to $1,000. You asking for money, there's $300. Do it this week. But I want you to come up with the stuff, right? Because when people are given the information, they don't execute on it. When you come up with the information, people typically hop on it. You come up with ways to make money. You write it down. You feel like things that you can execute in your lives, right? Do DoorDash, do Uber, Lyft, do Uber Eats. I don't give a shit. There's multiple ways to make money out here, people. Instead of coming on people's lives and asking for money. You can figure this shit out. I did it years ago, and I can do it tomorrow if I wanted to. And then this is what's crazy. I have a mentorship group or a coaching group, and we have a forum, and I broke down multiple different ways to make extra money. And what I said to them is, I said, this is what I'll do. I'll even stoop to this level because I make a decent amount of money, right? 6 figures a month, easily. So I will even, for this week alone, I will do free cycling just to show you that you can make money doing this. 1 week, actually I didn't even do a week. I started on Friday. By Monday morning, I made almost $800. I took free shit on the internet, delivered to somebody else, 3 days, $800. One was a TV, a dishwasher and a wash and dryer, and a treadmill. I charged $50 to deliver it, and I got it all for free. I might spend 5 hours max. I might spend a little more. I probably spend like 6 hours. 6 hours for $800. That's $150 an hour. I think it's $150 an hour. No, $125 an hour, something like that. Yeah, $125 an hour. Now, who in here makes $125 an hour? Raise your hand. Who in this chat makes $125 an hour? If you don't, your job sucks. You're looking at your job wrong. If I can make over a weekend $800, you are spending your time doing the wrong shit. Okay? I want y'all to think about that too. I do Uber and Lyft part-time. Cool. How much you make? If you won't mind me asking, I'm just curious, right? Because I like to throw those out there because I like people to see other people doing stuff, especially if it's part-time. And then I will say this too. What are you doing with that extra money? That's when the rubber hits the road. Right. I had a good friend who was doing flipping. He had, I don't know where he got them from. Some crackhead sold him 4 brand new 70-inch TVs for $400. And he sold them for like $500 a piece. He made almost $2,000. But he took all the money and spent it on rims. Someone said I make $250 a day off Uber and Lyft part-time. But an individual just came in my live and asked me for money. Don't ask for handouts, ask for a way out. You can teach a man how to fish, or you can give a man a fish. And I don't give fishes, my guy. And back to what I said originally, I have no pity for anybody who brings stuff upon themselves. I don't do handouts, my guy. Get off your butt and get to work. I did. You can too. Yeah. Pretty easy, right? But yeah, man, what y'all got for me, man? Y'all gotta talk, man. Come on, man. I hate rambling. I hate feel like I'm beating y'all down. I need some questions, preguntas. For example, I worked 4 hours and made $120, 9 rides. 5 hours, $120. That's what? $25 an hour. Right? You got some taxes and some fees or something in there, but I mean, still. Versus what? Sitting around watching football? Come on, people. I need a girl who's ride. Oh man, that was a dude. I thought you was a girl asking for money. I almost felt bad. You a guy? Oh hell no. Man, I give no man hands ups. You have everything in the world to do. You have every opportunity in the world to get ahead. Now, if you was a woman and you was in like a home for like abuse or like neglect or something like that, or your parents kicked you out, cool. I kind of give you a little leeway. A grown man asking for money, man, you don't get the hell out of here with that. Hell no, I'm good. If someone else wants to, you got it. Yeah, I almost felt bad. I thought it looked like in the profile pic, I thought it was a girl. That's a grown ass man. Man, hell no. Someone said, have I ever heard of the Jewish Financial Bible? Yes. Um, Not the Jewish Financial Bible. There's a guy who talks about it on social media. His post always gets deleted. Look up the Jewish. Is it the Jewish Financial Bible or the Jewish Financial 10 Commandments? If you watch that, that's pretty good. Like it's like indoctrinating from Jewish people to learn these 10 rules about Jewish people, how like they always help each other, they always take care of each other, they always give back to the community, they always lifting each other up, they're always investing. It's nuts. It's such a good mentality to have, and a lot of people don't think like that. I want to invest, but I don't know where to look to start to look. Yeah, you're in the right place. That's what we talk about here, my guy. But if you want to learn more, you want to break down some details because I don't know what kind of investing you want to do. I don't know if you want to get into real estate. I don't know if you want to get into buying your own business. I don't know if you want to start a business. I don't know if you want to get into um, 401k, IRAs, mutual funds, ETFs, stocks, bonds, crypto. I don't give a shit. Whatever you into, man. We talk about it. Man, I got something in my mouth, man. I keep spitting it up. Someone said, I don't know which one to truly focus on. Yeah, all of them. Right? This is the easiest approach. If there's 3 doors, let's say there's 4 doors, okay? One door is cracked, one door is closed, one door is locked with 4 padlocks on it, and one is locked with barbed wire around it. Which one are you gonna open up first? If I told you all 4 of these doors will give you financial future or financial stability and financial gains, right? But then you go to the door that's cracked. Someone said the cracked door, self-explanatory. But now you go to the cracked door and it probably weighs 200 pounds, 300 pounds. And you're just like, man, damn, I got to open up this door. This is going to be hard. I thought it was going to be easy because it's cracked. But in theory, I guess it is the easiest door. So now you come to Mr. Rich and you say, yo, Mr. Rich, my financial goals, you told me to go through this door. How do I get this door open? I said, glad you're listening, son. Let's start working on some different techniques to get this door open. And then I'll give you the techniques. You go work on the door. Get more techniques, you work on the door. More techniques, you work on the door. And slowly but surely, that door is going to start opening up more and more and more and more, right? It ain't got to open up a lot, just enough for you to get in. And once you get in the door, and then you'll see, wow, I'm in here now. This is crazy because now I see a key. Then you're going to walk to the end of the room. You're going to grab the key. And now, while that door is open, you're going to go to the next door. Only thing that was restricting you at the other thing, the door was just closed. And the door was locked. But now you got a key. Man, you say, hey, Mr. Richard, you think I'm ready for this door now? I say, well, you got this far. Let's take the next step. Now you open up that door. And it's going to be just as heavy. But you know how to move a heavy door because you've already worked on that. See what I'm saying now? If you're tracking, you're picking what I'm laying down. So now the door was locked, but now the door is not unlocked. But now you already know how to move a wedged door. And then you get in that door, and now you can see in there, now there's like 3 more keys and barbed wire cutters. And then you come out the other door with the barbed wire on it and all the damn chain locks on it. You say, hey, Mr. Rich, I never cut barbed wire before. And I say, okay, let's learn. Don't stab yourself. Let's go get some gloves. Let's get some protective equipment on. Let's cut this wire off, right? And let's remove this wire. Now you got the wire removed. And now you got 6 different locks, but you got 6 different keys. Where do you start? Start with lock number 1. Hey, that key didn't work. Okay, will you quit? No. Okay, keep trying. And you keep going, you keep going, you keep going, and you keep going. And then one day, you'll look back and you say, damn, I got all 4 of these doors open. And I'll say, yeah, it took time and it wasn't easy, but you worked through it. You problem solved and you figured the shit out. That's how investing is, people. It ain't just like a door that's wide open. You're like, okay, cool, let me go in here. And you just open up the door and it's just in there and you just learn. And you got it, boom. That's it. Wow, that was easy, right? No. You got to work through some things. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some patience. It's going to take some education. It's going to take some mindset changes. And it's going to take some things that you need to sacrifice in your life. Right? And then maybe you'll look back and be like, damn, I got all 4 of these doors open, but hell, that took me a year. Or man, I got all 4 of these doors open and it took me 2 years. Right? But to have all the tools, the knowledge, the game, the access to capital, the access to businesses, the access to real estate, the access to funding, everything you need, and you had to sacrifice a year of your time to get all that stuff. Was it worth it? Of course it was. But a lot of people don't want to put in the work. Some people say, oh, the door's cracked. They push on a little bit and they say, oh man, that shit's heavy as hell. I'm good. And they bounce. I don't give a shit. That's on you. All right, cool. Whenever you're ready to come back, come back. Yeah, man, I'll be back. I have to do some things now, but I'm kind of busy. But when I get a chance, I'm going to do it. Never see these motherfuckers again. With all this technology, do you think getting into animation, is it a good business to move forward? Yeah, I guess so. But I'm kind of old fashioned, man. I like to buy stuff that makes money. Right? I don't want to get into something where I got to dump money into it. It's about as simple as it gets, man. I want you to hold out. You don't have to physically do it, but I want you to hold out both of your hands. Right? And this is about the simplest analogy as possible. If you can't process this analogy, right, maybe I'm not the guy for you. Hold out both your hands. When money comes into your account, okay, say you went out and worked 40 hours this week and you made $2,000. I don't fucking know. Now, that $2,000 is going to go somewhere, right? Somebody said on here they live in check to check. Some people say they ain't got enough to live by. There's not enough to make money. Hold on, I'll even quote what the individual said. Hold on, let me get there. Someone said, I have a job. I'm just underpaid and I live check to check. Okay. I'm literally reading that quote. I have a job, but I just live check to check. Okay. When your check comes in, 2 things are going to be consumed, or 2 things are going to be purchased, or 2 things are going to be allocated. Your funds are going to be allocated in 2 different ways. 1 and 2. A or B. Up or down. Yes or no. Black and white. It's not, there's no middle. It's either one or not the other. Things that make you money or things that take money out your pocket. There's no gray. There's almost no neutral. When you get your paycheck, let's say it's $2,000 a week, or let's say $2,000 a month, or $2,000 a year, it don't make a difference. When you get your check, is money going? When you buy something, is that thing you buy or consume or use or purchase, whatever analogy you want to use to where your money goes, is it making you money or is it taking money out your pocket? Making money, taking money out. And if the majority, let's say 100, you get a $2,000 check and $2,000 of your check, someone said I live check to check, is all your money you make buying stuff that doesn't make you money? If the answer is yes, you are, for lack of a better term, and I try not to cuss because I try to be respectful, but sometimes cussing puts a lot of emphasis on stuff that normal words can't. You make $2,000 a month, and all $2,000 a month goes to nothing that makes you money. You are fucking up. There's no easy way about it. There's no if and buts. It's about as simple as it gets. If you make $2,000 and $2,000 out of your account every month, and nothing was purchased that makes you money, or gonna make you money in the future, you are fucking up. Well, my car makes me, no. And this is the easiest definition to understand. If you stopped working, right? Take that $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 income you make a month, a week, a day, or whatever the fuck it is, take it away. Does your car put money in your pocket or does it take money out? Well, it helps me get to my job. No. We're not going to do that. Does your car put money in your pocket or does it take money out? Well, my car works up. You see what you're doing? You are justifying your misthought logic. A person is telling you what to think and and how to go about it, but yet you are justifying your bad decisions. If you stop working, does your car put money in your pocket every month or take money out of your pocket every month? If the answer is yes, then that was a bad purchase. You got a house payment? Oh man, see, I need a place to live. Does your house take money out your pocket or put money in your pocket? Well, I need a place to live. I didn't ask you that, dog. Stop justifying and answer the fucking question. You put money in your pocket, it takes money out. It takes money out. So if I bought the house down the street and I rented it out, does that put money in my pocket or take money out? Well, that will put money into it. So you purchase houses the wrong way. Maybe you should purchase a rental property before you buy your first property. What about Netflix? That Netflix account putting money in your pocket or taking money out? What about your cell phone? What about your internet? What about Hulu? What about DoorDash? What about Amazon Prime? Man, I can do this shit all day. What about Time Warner? What have you purchased this month that puts money in your pocket? If the answer is nothing, you are messing up. If you ever wanted to know, I'm somewhere in the range of about 70 to 80 grand, about 60 to 70 grand a month of investing. About 70 grand goes into investment accounts a month for me. This is not a game, y'all. This is not a game. Now, I easily could have just keep a half of that, 35 grand, go get a Hellcat, go get a Scat Pack, go get some Lambos, and all other kind of shit. But some people focus on the big picture. Some people look at the big picture, right? To me, the Lamborghini and Scat Pack, Hellcats won't give me value. When I walk into rooms and people know who I am and they respect what I'm saying because I have a significant amount of money, that brings me value, not things. When I'm known as the number one content creator of money because I'm sitting on a net worth of $100 million, self-made, homeless, living in the car, no silver spoon, no handouts, and I'm lining up public speaking events every day for the rest of my life. That is value. Educating people on a small scale, even the 100 people I got in here now, to 1,000 people crowd, that gives me value. That's why I do this. Not to impress people with silly little vehicles. Think bigger, people. Think bigger. Think bigger. Because no one gives a shit about your little BMW competition. But if you're the number one source in the world for one thing, when people utter certain things, and the first person you think about is that individual, that has more merit than a car, to me at least. When I say streamer, who do you think of? That's where you need to be. When I say TV preacher, who do you think of? That's where you need to be. When I say professional athlete, who do you think of? That's where you need to be. When I say great public speakers, who do you think of? That's where you need to be. You only got a short time on this world. And if Hellcats bring you joy, Gucci bring you joy, vacations bring you joy, I guess. Just some people think of bigger pictures, man. Some people just, they're destined for more. You know? But yeah, y'all don't want to hear that shit. Anyways, I'm looking to get into Vanguard VO. Yeah, do it. Just take all the money that you make from your dang Uber, put it in that. Don't eat off your profits. You know what I mean? Someone says ET. ET's good. But I'm not knocking ET. But ET, when ET talks, it's not practical. You know what I mean? It's not tangible information. So I'm gonna put you on another level of public speaking, right? When you're a great public speaker, you recognize what great public speakers say and do. And I'm not gonna knock anybody because I can respect anybody's game. But I want you to think about this. When public speakers talk, like I'm talking to you now, is what I'm saying tangible and practical? Meaning that it's doable, or will it get you ahead in life? Just like somebody said, I want to open up a VOO account. Yes, you should open up a VOO account, and you should invest your extra money from driving Uber and driving Lyft to that account because it's free money. You went out there and earned it, but you need to start putting up extra money. That's the extra money you're putting up. That is practical. That guidance, anybody can go do what I just said. When ET and Tony Robbins, and when they talk, they're like, you should have the great mindset, like David Goggins, great guy. Who's gonna move the boat? You gotta dig deep. What the fuck does that mean? You gotta want it. What the fuck does that mean? You got to give it your all. What does that mean? You got to want it more than anybody else. Okay, cool. I want it more than anybody else. How's this helping me? You got to, you got to dig deep. Motherfucker, you just said that. You got to want it more than anybody else. Oh, okay, dude. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You lose me, man. Right? A lot of people, when they talk, now ET's a good guy. I support all people, right? Especially minorities. A lot of his information is motivational and not practical. Really listen to these people talk. Y'all devote hours and hours and days to people that's talking about this type of stuff. Only reason I'm talking like this now is vaguely because y'all ain't answering no questions. He's laughing. Yeah, you're laughing because I'm making sense. It's only funny because it's true, right? You asked me a question about, someone just said, do you know anything about owning parking lots? Sure, yes. Let's talk about parking lots. So I'm gonna go on a rant about parking lots and how he or she can get into parking lots. You see what I'm saying? There's multiple. Okay, cool. Let's go on a rant. This is practical. You can apply this to your life. If you want to get into parking lots, you can do one of two things. You can either buy an existing parking lot, preferably downtown, pay people to park there, or you can, but if someone said Les Brown. Les Brown is good. However, Les Brown is not practical. I'm telling y'all, start listening to these people when they talk. They don't give y'all the game. They just give you motivation. They just give you motivation. And then you hyped up for a week, 2 days after you go to the event, 30 minutes after you listen to it, and you're right back at your job doing the same dumb shit. But hey, what do I know? Someone said, okay, it's cool. Let's talk about parking lots. You can do a parking lot, you can build one, or you can buy one. You know, if I was getting into parking lots, what I would do is I would go to my city council meetings and I would listen to whenever they're talking about where they're going to damn either gentrify or they're going to allocate funds. Let's say, hey, there's this rural area that's coming and we are going to build um, some rest stops or some trucking areas in this area, or we're going to devote a lot of money to like a little strip mall or something in this area. We're going to devote $50 million, $100 million. Okay, if people need a place to park there, or if there's a lot of people, if they're building a lot of, if they're going to do like strip malls or a little center and stuff like that, or a library or a school's going to get built there, people are going to want to live in those areas, especially if the school is they're dumping money into those cities. So now you got the people who are buying in those areas. People want to buy houses. And if people are buying houses, truck drivers make up a large percentage of those people. If truck drivers need a place to park their vehicles, then you cater towards those areas, or you cater towards those areas where a lot of truck drivers are prevalent. If I'm sure you can look up the demographic on where a lot of truck drivers live and start buying up areas in that area. I had a good friend who knew he sat on the city council, or his brother sat on the city council, and they said, "Yo, Amazon is going to build a distribution center in this area." So what he did is, and he was after they was building, he noticed like a lot of the trucks was parked on the side of the road. So it was like a 4-lane highway, and all the trucks was lined up on one side of the road, having to wait to get into the parking spots. So he said, "Well, shit, I'm gonna buy a fucking lot across the street." He cut it down and he paved it, and then cars started parking in his lot. And then he said he went to Amazon and said, "Hey, yo, y'all cars are parking here, right? We'll do this. If y'all can just rent the lot out to me, I'll rent out the lot to y'all, and you can park your trucks, you can park your vans, you can park your little trucks or whatever kind of vehicles y'all have here in this area, and y'all just pay me a monthly fee." And they said, "Cool." So he did that. And then he noticed that a lot of the vehicles was either broke down. So then what he did is he noticed that a lot of vehicles was broke down, and then people was coming in and out of there. And then he put up security lights and he put up little cameras and stuff like that. And he noticed that people was coming on and stuff like that. So Amazon asked him, "Yo, man, could you like police this area better, because people are breaking into our vehicles?" He said, "Okay, cool. It's going to be a more because I got to hire a security guy." So they put a little fence there. They go up and down, and they hired a security guy to be out there and walk the lots. And he got a bigger contract. And then he noticed that people was coming on to repair the vehicles. So he said, "Hey, y'all got a guy to come on and repair all these different vehicles. Y'all got 5, 6 different guys coming on these lots. Why don't you just give me the contract? I own a I own a maintenance company. I own a maintenance company. My maintenance company will um, service all your vehicles, service all your 18 wheelers, and will service all your Amazon trucks, right? And we'll do the maintenance. We just pay a flat fee for the maintenance. But if you need any detailed work, we'll just bill you monthly. But we'll do all of the basic maintenance contingent upon how many vehicles you got." And we'll say, "Okay, cool deal." This guy didn't even have a he didn't have a company. So what he did is he went out and bought one. He went to a guy that was selling one right down the street, and he bought it. And he told everybody in here, "Yo, man, y'all wear what y'all want to in here. And that's what y'all was doing before. Every car that's in here now, we're going to get rid of. We're not servicing any more regular cars. We are an Amazon affiliate, and only thing we're going to service is Amazon cars. And then he had to tow the vehicles back and forth, so he went and bought a towing company too. So now all he do is service Amazon vehicles and service their 18-wheelers if they need them from a parking lot. And all he did was identify there was a parking lot needed in an area. Now that parking lot now makes him roughly about $2 million a year. And all he did, he saw a need. So what do we learn here, people? About parking lots. And that's the difference. Les Brown is good. E.T. is good. Tony Robbins is good. David Goggins is good. It's motivational. That is practical information. And anybody can go out there and use that information to apply it to their lives. That's the difference between me and them. And that's why I will be the greatest motivational speaker when it comes to finances in the world. Mark my word. Say word. Word. Someone said, would you need an LLC? Yeah, you don't need an LLC to do anything, but I would have an LLC or S Corp or C Corp or sole proprietorship to do whatever you need to do. But it's your world, man. But you need the stuff, man. Thoughts on active duty military having a real estate license? You don't need it. I bought and sold hundreds of properties with no real estate license. If you want a real estate license, you can do it. What are you in, man? What branch you in? Mr. Corey? Mr. Dean? Don? Dean? Dillon? I'm about to get off here in a minute. I've reached my quota. Empty trailers can also be used as real estate. Now here we go, more practical information. Trailers don't hold their value. They're almost the equivalent of a car. So the longer you have a trailer, the least amount it's worth. The trailer is not worth a lot. A lot of times when you buy real estate, the land that it's on is worth anything. So I'm not gonna go super in detail, but I'll tell you this. If you want to buy trailer homes or mobile home parks and all that kind of shit like that, if you want to get into mobile homes, if it doesn't have land, it's not a deal. Mobile homes at the parks, the parks charge you $600 a month just to be there or some shit like that. $500, $200, $500, $600 a month to be there. They're making all the money. If your trailer is on your land, then you make the money. Bing. Someone said Air Force. Yes, sir. You see that? You see that salute? You know, you can tell when people in the Air Force, if you ever want to know if anybody ever was in the United States military, ask them to salute. If anybody ever salutes, and they do look like this, they do like anything like this, like this, like this, like this, any of that weird shit. No, here we go. So take these two fingers and you put them right at the tip of your eyebrow. Okay? Take your hand out and you tilt it at a 45-degree angle. This is the proper military salute. This arm has to be flat. Boop. With a hat, same two fingers, it goes right here. It's one of my pet peeves when I watch movies. 45-degree angle, arm straight out. When people salute in movies, they'll do shit like this. Yes, sir. They'll be way out here, they're way out here, or they'll be like right here, or they'll be at their ear, or it's not even at a 45 degrees, it's straight, something like this. If I ever was anywhere and I thought that people was not truly in the military, I'll say, hey man, give me a salute. Render a salute. And if they don't go to attention, 45 degree at the feet. If they have a hat on, 45 degree here. No hat on, 45 degree here. You can tell you was Air Force when you say Army. Yeah, the real branch. Chair Force, homie. Anyways, yeah. First of all, you need to be maximizing your TSP, Roth, not traditional. But I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you what I would do. If I was still in the Air Force, I'll be maximizing my 401k, not sorry, my TSP. And I would get into my allocations on tsp.gov and download the free app TSP, Daily TSP. And I would track all my investments. You default into the C fund. Sorry, you default into the G fund, which traditionally produce 3%. But I think they're defaulting to a life cycle fund now because all the other shit's whack. But I will still transition all my funds to 35% life cycle, and then maybe get into like S fund and C fund. They do 4% match on 5% allocation, which is pretty much 80% rate of return on your money. If I gave you $1 and then you gave me 80 cents out of that dollar, then I'm making money. So why not do it? And then you can borrow against your TSP too at a 2.5% interest rate. And you can borrow 50% of it, but you can take that fund and you can actually go to your bank and borrow 90% on it at like 8%. So if I was you, I'd be trying to max out my TSP, and then one day I take that TSP money and then allocate that money to buying real estate and businesses. Sound like someone knew what they were doing. Sound like someone did it before. Sound like somebody has experienced in that area. And sound like somebody will never work for another person again in their life because they made some smart decisions with their Air Force allocations. And also, if you active duty military, I will be capitalizing on. If I was also Air Force, I'll be capitalizing on my VA benefits. I'll be going to school full time because full-time student in the United States Air Force active duty, you get $250 per college credit. If you take mini semester, you can take 2 classes. That's $1,500 every 8 weeks. Then they pay for your schooling, and then you can do what's called you can do Pell Grants, and the Pell Grants will pay you the equivalent back. So now you can make $1,500 every 8 weeks, which breaks down to about $750 a month. You take the $750 a month and then you invest it into IRAs and all that other kind of crap. So you go to school full time and you maximize your TSP, which gives you 80% return on your money. And then you're making an extra $750 a month to go to school full time. And people are like, damn, bro, you got a lot of degrees. No, I do have a lot of degrees. I only have a lot of degrees because they paid me to go to school, right? And I'm gonna milk that damn cow. Say word. And let's say you get a 4-year degree, $750 a month times 12. That's almost an extra $12,000. That's almost an extra $10,000 a year. You take the $10,000 and you invest it. After 4 years, you have 40 grand. You went to school for free. On top of your 5% TSP contribution, let's say 5% is $500. They're going to give you $400 just for investing in it. So now you got $900 a month. 9 times 12, that's another $10,000. So after 5 years of doing that, you have $50,000 in an IRA or index fund or mutual fund, and you got another $60,000 in your TSP. It's crazy out here. Now you got $110,000. Now you can go to the banks and get what's called a portfolio loan. You go to the bank and get a portfolio loan, they'll give you 80, 90% of the value of the portfolio. Well, how much you got in your portfolio? You got $100,000. You take the $100,000, you take the $90,000 from the $100,000. Now you buy, I don't know, a piece of real estate. Let's say it's 60 grand. You put $10,000 down, but you got $90,000. Now you buy 9 properties. 9 properties that pay you $500 a month. It's $4,500 a year, $50,000 a year. on top of the $100,000 you got in your TSP, plus the $100,000 you got in your mutual fund, and then the money that's coming in from your rent pays back the loan, the portfolio loan. And you did all this in 5 years while got a full-time military active duty, and you got a 4-year degree from your school choosing. So you look like on paper, wow, you got $100,000 in investments, you got a 4-year degree, and you got 10 rental properties in 5 years. It's not a motherfucking game. It's not a game. It's not a game. I hope you get in the game. That's practical. Tony Robbins ain't teaching you that, is it? But it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. I wish I could sit here and talk to y'all all day, but I can't because time is money and I get no money from being here. But except on YouTube. If you're following, make sure you're following on YouTube. If you newer here and you find like value in any of this stuff, please make sure you're following. Click the link in the bio, join the free class, right? This stuff that I teach y'all for free ain't even a smidget of the stuff that you'll get. If I give you value for free, practical value, not some of that bull crap, Tony Robbins crap, like that motivation, dig deep, find it within. Dude, that shit's sometimes garbage. It has its purpose, but for the most part, it's not that practical. But if you find value in this stuff and you're entertained and you want to learn more about these processes and these systems, click the link in the bio and join the free class. We're giving out the game. You just got to want to take it. Hope to see y'all there. And if not, oh well. Maybe it's not your time, but I'll be here. Because like I said, I'm going to get on these lives and give our game and hook y'all up until I am the #1 guy or girl in the world at this. About simple as it gets. Simple as it gets. But hope you find value in this. Make sure you like and follow it, and see you on Wednesday. If not, oh well. Don't make me no difference because I already got mine. I gotta get mine, but you gotta get yours. I already got mine, but it's time to get yours. I gotta get mine. I gotta get yours. I gotta get mine, but hey, you gotta get yours. Later, dude.